Leopard Lounge? Yeah!
Wonder.
Where's Skits? Get the word.
Wonder why they don't like me, baby. Pride is on me, yeah, I'm clean, lady. Yeah, they testing for the fashion. All these motherfucking niggas, they be capping. I already said I'm clean. I'm finna eat a sensu bean. I'm so skinny, so I guess I'm lean. Young fly nigga with JPG. I want a girl that has a passion. A type of girl that's into fashion. Wanna look at her eyes distracted. Plus the pic, though it's like it's like caption. We both know the truth, I wanted you. It was times like this, I wish I. We both know the truth, I wanted you. It was times like this, I wish I.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. We are starting a new season. Season 11 means that we've been around 3.5 years now. And I've decided that I'm going to do something very different this time. And I'm actually going to rebrand the podcast, and I'm changing the name of the podcast. I think something that's happened recently in the last few months is I think I've really become just like so much more in tune with my, I guess, with my stage in life and what that means, and like where my perspective and all the decisions that I'm making, it's coming from. So we're definitely going to start changing that sort of dialogue a little bit and do a lot more personal stories for you, do a little bit more storytelling, do things that impact me in a way that I think it's just different. And I think, we've done interviews before. We've brought you stories. We've brought you people. We'll still do a little bit of that. But I think what I'm definitely going to be trying to do now is trying to just give you guys some more perspective on where I stand. So the idea for the change of the name was because, as I get older, the more that I think about it, the more that I decide that I wanted to, okay, let's see how this works. I wanted to just give you guys a little bit more about me and a little bit more of what I do and who I am and the things that matter to me. So I definitely wanted to bring a change to that. So I'm going to be changing it to Señora vibes because that's really who I am. And that's really where a lot of the fun is. It's like in that change, in that era, in that new era. They call it the Señora era. But for me, it's like Señora vibes because I really do feel like those are vibes. And it's sort of like, I think it's something that's happening right now in the community, in the Latino community, or maybe with the Latinas themselves, is like they're starting to really capture more of like who they are in terms of their history, their experience, their work, what they've done. I think we reach a certain place, maybe, our 40s or mid 40s or maybe our early 50s, and we think about, where we are and where we're standing. And I think that's something that I'm definitely thinking a lot about. So I'm definitely going to be bringing more topics around that, definitely talking a little bit more about who I am in terms of the things that shape me and what it does for me. But, some people have mentioned that like the boss babe era, like that's done and that's over. Hustle culture, done, over. Señoras are now, embracing who we are and sort of that pivoting of like, what we stand for and who we do things for. I'm going to take this off because it's just bugging me. So, so I'm thinking a little bit more about the perspective, the idea that we can definitely be moving a little bit more towards, who we are and what goals are we trying to reach at this point in our life. Every single decade that goes by, I'm 2 years away from 50. So I think I've come to sort of a place where I'm just like super comfortable just kind of sharing my thoughts and my experiences with all of you. And I still participate a lot in that hustle culture, and I still participate a lot in like a lot of that bossing thing, because I actually just started 2 new jobs, which is something that I'm definitely going to talk about today, and what it means to just like learn something again and going back to school for somebody in their Señora era in our time. So just recently I started taking real estate classes because my husband and I are investors, and so we always figured that one of us should definitely get our license, just because it makes sense for us business-wise to just be able to do that. And so for me, it was just like a good idea for me to go and get it and definitely work on getting my license. Guys, going back to school was really, really hard. I have not been in school for maybe 25 years. I think maybe 25 years since I graduated with my master's in '01. I mean, it's been a long time. I think it's even longer than that. I don't know. Got to think about it. Anyways, so going back to school is definitely not something a señora can definitely do easily and as quickly and learn things as fast as most people. I think I struggled at the very beginning to kind of get myself just had time to learn again, to rethink things and like how I used to write notes. How did I write notes before? How did I learn things? How did I learn new concepts? Like how did I go into classes or whatever it was in college and learn things? I think my brain was just so latent, like it was asleep. It was not awake. It was just sort of like having like a big hibernation period. And all of a sudden I'm asking it, like, we're going to learn new concepts. We're going to learn about real estate. We're going to learn about promulgated forms. We're going to learn about different types of loans for houses. We're going to talk about where those loans come from, the different kinds of loans, who's providing, who's investors, what do investors look for when they're, I mean, there was just so many things that I had to learn. And even though Rusk and I have been investing in real estate for the last 3 years, I mean, that's helpful, but a lot of the details I was just not very like comfortable with and just definitely not familiar with, and just having to relearn all of that was just not easy. But anyways, I think that's one of those things that as we get older and we enter a certain stage in our life, for me, for example, I'm always ready to learn something new. And just because I've become, a señora now and I have my señora vibes, I don't think that means that I stop learning or I stop doing things that I want to do, or achieving new goals or reaching new levels in whatever is my professional and personal life. I think that that's something that I definitely want to continue doing and definitely pursue in terms of like who I am and what the kind of person that I am, that kind of thing. So for sure, I think one thing that I would say is very helpful is to take your time. So I definitely took my time with my learning of my real estate concepts. It took me a few months. Most people will go into a classroom and just do it and just handle it. For me, I just had too many things going on. I just couldn't do it all at one time. So I definitely took my time and I gave myself a little bit of a break. The other thing that I know that I did for myself was I didn't hold myself to the standards I usually hold myself as when I was in college. So when I was in college, I was like hardcore about studying at school and all of that. And so for me, just kind of like learning that I just did not have to go so gung-ho and be so hardcore about my learning. I definitely gave myself a little bit more time with that too, just give myself more breaks. They do allow you to take online classes, so I did that. I did the online classes. I didn't go to the school, but the last few weeks, I definitely went inside a classroom and just did a lot of practice work and did some practice tests there. So, señoras out there, my señora ladies, all of my señoritas, all of the señoras out there, you can definitely learn something new. Just learn to give yourself a little bit of grace, a little bit of time, a little bit of a break. Definitely the other thing that I did, because I'm older and I have older kids, my kids are 20 and 15, they took on a lot of the slack. They took on a lot of the work that I would have definitely done. My husband took on more things as well, just because I could not handle some of those things, plus the studying, plus taking my courses and going to my prep sessions. So that definitely is something I recommend. Definitely take your time, delegate duties and responsibilities. I know that we like doing everything. I know that I feel like I have to do everything because nobody does it like me. Here we go, Señora vibes right here with my white hair. I just saw that. And so that for sure, like, give yourself, some time and some space. I passed my tests on the first try, which is amazing because only 58% of the people passed. They always say the Texas real estate exam is hard, but I think that the thing that helped me was that I reviewed a lot of concepts a lot of times. The other thing that I think helped me was I knew there was a YouTube channel called The Prep Agent. So every time I got in my car, I would put The Prep Agent on YouTube and he would go over vocabulary. So I went through the vocabulary a few times. That was very helpful. There's also books that give you like a lot of practice tests. I did a lot of the practice tests, and whenever I got something wrong, I went back and I redid that question over and over. The hardest part for me was the math, just because I'm just not very good at math, and it never have been. I mean, give me an English paper and I'll do that. It's not a problem. But I think for me, it was definitely the math and those concepts that have to do with the math. But they were fine. I just went over those a few times, learned some of the algorithms, learned some of the equations, how, changing square feet to yards, from yards to miles, and miles to acres, that kind of thing. So definitely, Señoras out there, you can do this. You can definitely approach it. Let me know what you're learning that's new, or something that you're trying, for the first time in a long time that you haven't done. Like for me, going back to school was definitely something that I did not. I just don't know if I anticipated it. Maybe I did. I just didn't think it would be this hard, and my brain to be this like fried at the end. So definitely something that I approach in that sense. So, Señoras out there, now that you know where I come from, let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know if you like the new idea of the podcast. I'm niching it down a little bit. I'm really creating something much more focused on a community that I'm very familiar with. I'm just very comfortable with. And I don't know, just let me know, what are you thinking? Definitely look at the description. I have a new experience coming up. It's called the Texas Podcast Experience, and it's for podcasters, or for women who are content creators, or for women who are, bloggers, or want to start a podcast. We are doing the podcast experience. It's going to be a breakout session with a branding expert. You're also going to hear panelists talk about, their process. And then at the end, we are also offering VIP, for the VIP tickets, an opportunity for you to have a one-on-one mentorship or mentoring at the event with a seasoned podcaster, an expert podcaster who can give you some feedback on where you are, what you're trying to do, and where you're going. So definitely look out for that. That's going to be October 7th, Saturday, October 7th. We have the most beautiful venue. It's called the Cuvée Collection. It's an amazing, amazing place over here on the west side of Houston, and it's just beautiful, gorgeous, big place where it's like a wine bar, but at the same time, it's an event space. It's a warehouse. You can definitely set up your own a cage to hold your wines. That's something that we definitely love to do, because Rusk loves to buy wine when we travel. So whenever it comes in, it's a great place for you to put your wine. So that's the Cuvée Collective, and they're amazing and they're wonderful. And Jeannie is the owner. It's a female-owned place. So let me know what you guys are thinking. I definitely want to know if you like this new concept. It's definitely going to be shorter and sweeter, and we're not doing the 1 hour 45 minutes anymore. We're just doing this for now, and so this is a part of what the new change is going to be. I'm starting my real estate career, so I think this just makes all the sense in the world, just to kind of like give it a little bit of a break with the long format. All right, guys, let me know what's up.